Hi, I'm Gene McLaughlin. I'd like to welcome you to Old Bridge Outlook with Mayor Owen Henry. Usually the mayor and I have a guest in to talk about issues facing the township, but since this is our last Outlook program of 2016, the mayor and I are going to have just a chat today, review what went on here in the township in 2016, and take a peek ahead to 2017. And Mayor, hi, how you doing today?
How you doing, Gene? Thanks for having me. I can't believe another year has almost gone.
I was just going to say, Mayor, year one of term two.
Ooh, I can't, 5 years. I'm finishing my 5th year as mayor. Amazing.
How's that feel?
It feels good, Gene. It feels real good. I've always loved the town.
Right.
I've come to enjoy very much being the mayor of the town and leading the town and accomplishing as many good things as I possibly can, trying to help as many people as I possibly can. It's a challenge.
Yeah.
And but also very rewarding. We always have the old story: the best job you could ever have is being the mayor, and I'm starting to agree with that.
Starting to appreciate it, huh? Yeah. Did you find going into a second term different? Did you find different approach? You were more informed of everything going on in the town. You had plans formulated.
Yeah, I gained a lot of confidence in my first 4 years. I think I proved to myself I had the skills, I had what it took to be the mayor, because we did come through very tough times.
Yes.
In the first 4 years. I was grateful that I was successful in my re-election campaign. It was a little nasty. A lot of misinformation was out there. But the residents allowed me to continue to keep moving the town forward, and I'm very grateful for that. When I was campaigning, I was telling people that I would continue, keep my foot on the gas pedal.
Right.
I wasn't going to coast in my second term, that we would continue to be aggressive, try to save taxpayer dollars and improve services. Everything we had the opportunity to put our hands on, we were going to try to make better.
Right.
And so I don't look at it as first and second term. I just like we're continuation.
Just a continuum, huh?
We're continuing, yes.
Okay.
We didn't slow down, we're keeping it going.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Mayor, we began the year sort of saving money, trying to save money with the energy program. How has that been going?
It's a little slow, a little behind schedule. I assume you mean the energy.
The energy aggregation program, yes, sir.
That program,
yes,
it took a while to get it going, but that's been very successful. And I think that's one of the highlights in 16, the amount of money that the Old Bridge residents have been able to save on their electric bill. It's well over $1 million so far.
Really?
Total, if you put everybody's savings together. So it's a very successful program. It's a little controversial.
Right.
Some people didn't like the opt-in. I mean, the opt-out.
The opt-out, yes,
so
sir.
I apologize.
Right.
Everybody was put into it. But everybody now who is participating in the program is saving money. And I get a lot of compliments about it. Their electric bills are lower than they were the same time last year.
That's always a win.
It's a win-win situation.
Get anything lower.
Yeah, and it's like I said, when you add up all the money, that's a lot of money to put back into the local economy.
Oh, it sure is. Mayor, there was also some work by PSE&G here in the township, and you had alluded off the air to JCP&L.
Yeah, over the last, since Hurricane Sandy, JCP&L has been making tremendous investments in our community with redundancy in their system, being able to backfeed parts of the town that has power interruption, and we've seen the success of that programs that they've implemented with the upgrades of the switch stations, where the outages now don't last as long as they used to. They're being restored in less than an hour because they're able, before they fix the power, they're able to reroute it now around the problem. They have a tremendous website where you can go on your phone. There's an app, and you can see where the outage is, when it's going to be restored. JCP&L has really improved, I believe, their services here in Old Bridge, and I think Sandy identified some weaknesses in the system.
I think so too, yes, sir.
And everybody was a little embarrassed by what happened. I mean, they were calling for it, that we were going to, our infrastructure is old, our electrical grid is, it's antique in a lot of areas, over 100 years old in some of the areas of the state. So, but they've made a lot of progress. They have some more to go. We have some more to go, a lot of poles in Old Bridge. And also, as you mentioned, PSE&G is doing a very aggressive gas main replacement throughout areas of our town that the infrastructure is approaching 70 years old, the gas mains. I know in Madison Park, Southwood, some of our original developments now, PSE&G, again, has made a tremendous investment in our community by upgrading the services in the street and right into the homes. So, and we've seen the catastrophic results of gas mishaps around the state.
Yeah, we sure have.
So we're fortunate that our local utility companies are investing in the communities, and Old Bridge is fortunate to have two of them going on at the same time now.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Mayor, one thing that's had a lot of visibility in the township all year is the entire Business Alliance program. Right. A couple things have stood out. I think the Uber program, I believe Steve Mamakis is going to be doing a separate show on that. The newspaper and the property tax card.
Yes.
I think been very forward-looking.
The Municipal Alliance is a growing group of individuals who represent companies here in Old Bridge and our surrounding communities and from around the state. Are very involved because Old Bridge is such a prime opportunity for growth. And the Alliance, our purpose was to retain our local businesses and help them.
Yes, sir.
Attract businesses from other parts of the state
right.
or from outside the state, and to help local businesses that want to expand. And
right.
so they get together once a month, and the networking has paid off. As you said, it's led to the tax rebate program, the reward program, by shopping here in Old Bridge at certain locations. The Safe Ride Home program, especially this time of year.
Right.
Please, ladies and gentlemen, if you're out celebrating, use common sense. Call for a free ride home, or you can pay for the ride to your establishment and then get a free ride home from there. A great program, and I just said the local newspaper now that's out all around Old Bridge.
Yeah, the newspaper I think is very interesting. Get the coverage that we never had.
It's full of useful information. It's all positive.
Right.
Because there's so many good things going on in our town, and allows all organizations to contribute to that publication. So I think we're going on into the third issue.
Third issue, I think, is coming out. Yes, sir.
In 2017, the Business Alliance is going to focus on growing that and getting more information out, and hopefully I know it's going to be sustainable. So the Municipal Alliance is probably one of the shining stars in Old Bridge.
Oh, I think so, definitely.
Big accomplishment, because it has helped Old Bridge grow. Because of Municipal Alliance, I'm pretty confident that we're going to get a large state-of-the-art warehouse. It was just approved by the zoning board because of the efforts of people within the Municipal Alliance working together to get that project moving forward.
Okay. Mayor, one sad note this year, I think, was the passing of our elder statesman, so to speak, Reggie Butler, huh?
Yeah, I often think of Reggie because he was a staple around here for so long.
Oh, God, he was, yeah.
And we're going to be honoring his memory and his legacy here in town, but we're going to be mounting some plaques, one outside the council chambers, with some facts and figures about Reggie and a quote. And also the Public Works building is being named in his honor. He spent a lot of time down there over his years. So, Reggie, he might not be with us, but he is with me in spirit.
Oh.
I often think of him quite often, especially when it comes to controversial issues.
Yeah.
And, we didn't agree on certain things, but at the end of the day, Reggie and I believe, had a good relationship.
Yes.
And when it came to the public and the residents of Old Bridge, we agreed 100%.
Yeah, Reggie was always, in my knowledge of him and knowing him for 20 plus years, he was always a gentleman. He never lost perspective, never lost his patience. He was always a gentleman, always a steady hand.
Yeah, and I can't say the same about myself, but Reggie was a gentleman's gentleman.
Yeah, and it's too bad. I think he's a great
family. We're in contact with his family. His sister continues to let us know what's going on.
Right. Oh, good.
And hopefully maybe they can come for when we do the dedication.
I think that would be great. Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, the other thing we've seen this year, I think, is the expansion, the growth of the hospital. Raritan Bay Medical Center, Ferry Road, Old Bridge. It seemed to have blossomed this year.
Yeah, well,
not only with the new building.
The reason for that, Gene, was, first of all, the investment that the hospital made into the expansion.
Yes,
and just recently in 2016 was the merger with Meridian and Hackensack. Now Old Bridge is on the map when it comes to state-of-the-art healthcare.
Yeah.
Organization-wise and facility-wise. The new building houses some of the best imaging equipment in the state of New Jersey.
Yes.
So if you need an MRI or any kind of a scan, you come here to Old Bridge. The diabetes kitchen and the program, the Jocelyn program for diabetes is a tremendous asset. And what that does with those type of facilities and with that type of organization in town, people from all over, the Middlesex County, Monmouth County, come to Old Bridge for their health needs.
That is a real plus, considering the fact between Central State and Freehold and Robert Wood and New Brunswick, there really was nothing else to really go to seriously. And now, as you said, we have serious destination.
It's become, life-saving in certain areas because we have people who can get to the hospital rather quickly.
Yes.
And are just getting ready to upgrade and renovate the emergency facilities at that location. Getting to New Brunswick certain times of the day and or night could take quite a while.
Yes.
So with, like I said, with the merger now, nothing but good things are going to happen over at the hospital. I see future expansion, more buildings being built because of
yeah, it seems there's a lot more energy over there generally. I go over there to some of the physicians, and there's a lot of energy.
Yeah, you go in the new facility. I've been there a few times. It's bustling.
Yeah,
that's
a
good
plus.
thing. Good thing.
So as you said, a lot of good things are happening.
Yes.
Mayor, one thing that's maybe not so good is the ongoing drug issue in the township. We had a few incidents this year again. It seems to be not only here, but in so many towns. You read in Star Ledger every Sunday you pick up, and something else is going on in another town.
Yeah, it's probably one of the saddest things we have going on, and not only in Old Bridge, but in our state and our country. It's an epidemic. We're losing more people to opiates than we are to cancer and car accidents. It's devastating.
It's really shocking to me. I'll tell you.
And here in Old Bridge, I've made a concerted effort to try to do as much as I can, not only as a mayor, but as a person, a human being, to try to save lives. I believe we are making progress. Unfortunately, we continue to have a loss of life.
Yes, sir.
With the opiates. We are using Narcan.
Right.
Unfortunately, Narcan doesn't reverse the effects of fentanyl, which we're finding its way into the heroin. We've held many town forums. I've gone in other parts of the state and presided over seminars. Just recently, I was in Atlantic City at the League of Municipalities, and I presided over a seminar, Narcan, now what? Once we start using Narcan, we have to be able to treat that person once they get that reversal.
Yes, sir.
You can't just say, well, okay, we'll see you next week.
No.
So it's very, we have to get these people help. And the programs are just not that readily available.
No.
So here in town, Gene, it's a multi-front war we're fighting on the war on drugs. We're big on the education. Prevention of any future addicts, I think, is our best course of action. But we also have to be mindful that there are people who do have addiction problems. We are working with them. And the information that's required for each phase for the parent who has children who are not exposed. We need to expose that parent to what, to prevent their house from becoming a place where they can get their hands on cleaning the medicine cabinets out. We have the Operation Drop Box here 24/7. We've assigned a full-time police officer to a community policing program, and he's focusing on the drug problem. We're getting our local physicians, our dentists, our pharmacists involved now, trying to eliminate the supply of opiates that are out there. It's amazing statistics, the DEA.
I know.
There's enough opiates in our country for every man, woman, and child to have a 90-day prescription of pain medicine. That's how much material is out there.
The tragedy, Mayor, seems to be that it always seems to affect the younger people. When you read about these deaths and these difficulties, it's always younger people. Really, rarely people older, 40s, 50s, 60s. They're always in the 20s, teens,
Gene,
20s.
Since I've been the mayor, the majority have been in that early 20 to late 20s.
Yes, sir.
But we've had people, in their 50s. And we've had some teens. So, but it is that one group that seems to be bearing the brunt of this. And, we're the state, and it's a disease. It really is, and sometimes it's not the addict's fault. Sometimes they're exposed to this pain medication.
And they get hooked, particularly the kids that are athletes. That's where it seems to affect them.
We hear nightmare stories about wisdom teeth or sports injury to an individual that has led to, catastrophic, and it's a very difficult road. Anyone who's involved with addiction, it's a difficult habit to kick. But we're doing our best.
It's
we're
an ongoing struggle.
It's education, it's enforcement, it's treatment, it's helping the families that have lost a loved one. I mean, those families are suffering. So we need to be mindful of them. And we're lucky here in Old Bridge. We have some good groups, Families Against Addiction, Municipal Alliance.
Right.
We're engaging the public school system. We are going in front of the parents. Sometimes we are shocking them. So, Gene, it's just, we can talk. We can probably do a day's worth of shows.
I'm sure we can.
But we are making progress. But unfortunately, as I said, Gene, we still are having some tragic results here in town.
Right, that's so unfortunate. Okay, thank you, Mayor. Folks, we're getting ready to take a break right now. We are talking with Mayor Henry about the events that have taken place here in the township in 2016. When we come back, we're going to continue this conversation, and we'll take a little peek ahead to 2017. So please stay with us.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
Welcome back to Old Bridge Outlook with Mayor Owen Henry. Today, the mayor and I are reviewing 2016, taking a look back at some of the projects and programs that took place in the township this year. And we're going to continue that right now and give you a little peek ahead to 2017. Mayor, if we can pick up where we left off, one of the things that's made a lot of headlines lately is COA. Can you talk about COA a little bit? Explain to people what COA is and why it's such a tumultuous subject recently.
It was controversial, Gene, because I think there was a lot of misinformation and people don't understand what COA is.
Yeah, well, you
and it has a different meaning now in 2016 than it did, a few years back.
Yes, sir.
The Supreme Court has ruled that towns must provide affordable housing for its residents.
Yes, sir.
That people can't be forced from a town because of financial. And each town has a different, what they call, threshold. And the meetings, we had many meetings on it. And Old Bridge has now met its obligation for the next 10 years to give the opportunity to build affordable units. If the developer want to, they have the ability now to build, as development occurs in town, a percentage of the units built have to be what we call affordable, which allows senior population to stay in town, which allows young professionals just starting their career to be able to afford to get out of the basement and afford a unit here in town. We've identified, I believe, 5 different projects throughout the town. So all these affordable units are not grouped together as they were in the past, and they're mixed use. So I believe it's a good thing because the numbers that we have to build of affordable is a direct ratio to the total amount of units that have to be built.
I was going to ask you that question, yes, sir.
So when we started this process, the courts were saying that Old Bridge had to build, I think, a little over 3,000 affordable units, which would lead to around 10,000 overall units over the next 10 years. The potential, not that they were going to be built, but those were the numbers. We negotiated with developers, with Fair Share Housing, with the judge appointed a master. We negotiated down to having to build over the next 10 years 690 affordable units and a total of about 3,000 units. We were not going to get a better deal than that.
No, that sounded
so
good
it
as
was
we had
my
talked.
position that we settle. It was a controversy. They're not all apartments. We're not building Section 8 housing. We're not building projects. These are all inclusionary developments. Some of them are very nice.
Right.
And I myself might be looking to move into one of them as I go to downsize out of my 3-bedroom home to maybe a nice place for myself. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. But there was a lot of misinformation out there. There was a lot of politics.
Yeah, there seemed to be. Yes, sir.
And as we know, Gene, once you put politics into the equation, that equals money. It's expensive. If we were to fight this, if we were to fight that settlement, we were told by the judge that he would go back to the maximum, 3,000 affordable, 10,000. Okay, so, and that would cost the taxpayers of Old Bridge, literally well over $1 million to fight a losing battle. So,
where do we stand right now, Mayor? Where does it stand right now? I keep thinking it's over, but it's never over.
Well, Gene, we are right now in town. They are building affordable units that were agreed to 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Woodhaven was a big development that was approved a long time ago, and part of Woodhaven had an affordable 20% or 15% affordable units had to be built. They're being built now, and they were talked about 20 years ago. So I think we're in the same situation, that what we've talked about here over the last year, nothing is going to happen for at least 3 to 5 to 10 to 15 years.
Oh, really?
By the time all these projects are built out. And we need to grow. Old Bridge needs growth. We need to, to grow. And this is, planned. It's manageable. It doesn't put a burden on our school system. It doesn't put a burden on our municipal services. So it was the right thing to do, Gene. I'm going to stick behind our decision. And I will talk to anyone who wants to talk about it and have an intelligent conversation with me.
Right.
Not
not some of the clashing.
Yeah, not some of the craziness that came out there and accused me of being corrupt and making deals. That didn't happen.
No,
and it never will.
Sure,
I will never steal or lie to the people of Old Bridge.
Well, we'll await further developments then, is what you're saying.
Well, no pun intended.
Yeah. Okay. Mayor, one thing I think was very revealing this year, and that was this report from the Safe City organization. Old Bridge was number 6 safest cities of its size in the United States. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah,
you had to take some comfort from that.
That was very nice to hear, very rewarding, and that was a direct result because of our relationship with our public school system. The Township and the Board of Education, we've gotten together and we do some really good things together when it comes to the children, the youngsters here in Old Bridge. We provide programs for them at an early age in facilities that are owned by the Board of Ed, run by the Township. Our before and after program, I think, played a key role because parents now can drop their kids off on their way to work. We will watch them and give them programs before school starts, and then the parents can pick them up on the way home from work, and we'll keep them after school in a safe environment, overseen by our police, and saving the taxpayers money. Any daycare is very expensive.
Yes, it sure is.
So we run a really good program. The town runs it, but we use the Board of Education facilities for it. And I think that played a major role in getting that, because our children are safe.
I thought it was a tremendous achievement.
And we have a great school system. I'm in the schools.
I know you are.
I really enjoy it. It's one of the best parts of being the mayor. As I said so many times, everywhere I go, it's not the parents, it's the kids.
It's the kids that know you.
Pointing me out and say, that's the mayor. That's the mayor. Mom, Dad, it's the mayor. No.
So you get out your autographs and you start
eventually
sliding.
they're going to be voters, I hope.
Right.
But they have a ways to go. But our schools, as I said, our schools, we provide the school security. The Township provides. We share the cost with the Board of Ed. It's a program that's being modeled in other parts of the state with our Special 2 officers.
Yeah, that's tremendous.
On the outside of our schools.
I thought it was just a great report, great tribute to Old Bridge. Ties into the Business Alliance, moving the businesses into the town. Very well done. Yeah. Mayor, can we talk a little bit about capital improvements? When you started this year, we had a program about capital improvements. Well, we're at the end of the year now. What's sort of taking place? You had a sizable budget.
We've come full circle when it comes to capital.
Yes, sir.
The year before I became mayor, there was zero amount of money invested. There were no capital projects. They couldn't afford it.
Right.
I immediately changed that when I became mayor. You have to invest. You have to invest in your community. And that's what I consider capital projects, an investment back into your community. And when you invest money, you want a return on your investment. So I believe investing that money pays dividends to the residents. Their property values go up, and we've proven that.
Yes,
housing values have gone up in Old Bridge. We are going against the trend in the rest of the state. Old Bridge has become very attractive because of the topic we just talked about prior. People are looking to move to Old Bridge. They want to raise a family here in Old Bridge.
Right.
People do their homework before they move to this town. We've established a great relationship with our realtors in 2016. But our capital, for the first time, I'm a little off track, but the 2016 capital budget was adopted and passed early on in 16.
Right.
I'm going to say 90 to 95% of the projects are completed in 2016. That had never happened before. They would spend all year and do a capital budget and not approve it till August or September. And then very little work was done in the year it was approved. And then it would carry over into the next year. So we made it a point to get these projects moving earlier and get them done. Because the sooner they get done, the sooner they pay their dividends. We've also, as far as capital projects are concerned, historic amounts of money have been invested back into the community. As I said, when I first took over, zero. I think my first year as mayor, I invested $3 million. The next year we went up to $4 million. We've done $4 million every year since. But we've also invested another $4 million to our radio system, which we'll talk about later.
Yes, sir.
Our ESIP program, our Energy Savings Improvement Program, is another $4 million. We've used CDBG money, our community block grant money, to do capital projects here in Old Bridge. So we've invested record amount of money back into the community. And the financial institutions have seen that. And that's one of the reasons why you can count on one finger the amount of towns in New Jersey that bond rating has been
I was just going to say that.
improved year after year. Our financial situation continues to improve. We are pretty much at the top of our bond rating. We continue to get good rates on borrowing money. So our capital, we're very proud of our capital investment. Anyone who lives in Old Bridge has seen the improvements, how many streets have been paved over the last 5 years.
And curbing too seems to be considerable.
Sidewalks, a very big drainage flood control project was completed finally after years and years and years of being talked about and money being set aside but never used. So we finally finished that project, and we're going to continue to invest as long as I'm the mayor. We're talking about now investing $700,000 into our commuter parking lots, which are all original. They need to be, the commuters in Old Bridge deserve to have better facilities. And unfortunately, the prior administration would take that money and put it over into the general fund and make payroll with it, or who knows what they were doing with it. But the commuters were being almost like double taxed. They were paying to park in facilities, and yet that money was being used for other purposes. I stopped that immediately when they came in. The park, and that's how we've been able to generate that kind of money to be able to improve those facilities. So the capital, we can do a whole day.
Another day
on capital improvements here in Old Bridge. But me as a businessman, I believe in investing and saving. A lot of towns believe in borrowing and spending. I'm not that kind of person.
Okay, Mayor, one thing we touched on briefly and you didn't elaborate on was the new radio system. That had been talked about for a long time too,
years
right?
and years,
Yeah, I remember.
6-7 years prior to me becoming mayor. I mean, we finally got it done. We have a new radio system here in Old Bridge. Major
Is it integrating all of the services?
Integrating P25, it's compatible. Our old system was being held together with duct tape, buying parts on eBay to keep the radios up and running. We had some failure with the system going down. Now we're a modern, state-of-the-art system. It's getting ready to be turned over to police. It's being tested as we speak. So we're pretty confident by the end of the year, our police, fire,
they'll all talk to each other now, EMS, fire.
New radios.
Fantastic.
Again, a tremendous amount of money invested in public safety.
Okay.
Well needed. Why it took so long, I can only say it's probably one of the most complicated projects I've been involved with the technology, and I can see why it wasn't done. It was very frustrating at times, challenging, but we were persistent. We stuck with it. Sergeant Calvosa was a driving force behind that. He stuck with it, And it's going to pay off big time for our residents of Old Bridge and our police officers now, who can talk from any part of the town. We had areas in town where they couldn't communicate.
Right.
We had to resort to cell phones at times. Some of our buildings, especially our educational institutions, we were having a hard time communicating from within. This new system now, we have complete communication with those schools, with those buildings, with people in those buildings. So it's
okay. Some more good news.
It was I considered it one of the biggest accomplishments in 2016 to get that radio system up and running.
Okay, Mayor, one of the other big accomplishments of 2016 seems to be accomplishments by one of our young residents, huh? Lori Hernandez.
Wow, yes.
She went from Old Bridge to Dancing with the Stars to every morning TV show to evening show with Jimmy Fallon. And, you know, we ever going to get her in here, you think?
Gene, I don't know.
She's grown beyond us, I think, Mayor.
Yes, she is.
But it's great.
Amazing. It's amazing.
Great. For a 16-year-old girl to do what she did, I think was awesome.
As I said, it was a shining moment for Old Bridge when we had her welcome home celebration.
Yes.
That was just a tremendous outpouring of support. Like just going through town and leading her through town with 10,000 people out, and then we went to Lombardi Field and had another 3,000-4,000 people over there. It was just an amazing day. I'll never forget it. And I've met Lori and had the opportunity to talk to her a handful of times, and each time she's done nothing but impress me. I can't wait. I hope I have another opportunity to speak with her. I do communicate with her family.
Maybe we can use your influence to get her in on one of our shows next year, huh?
Unless
I put my Matt Lauer outfit on. I don't know if we'll get her in here.
We'll certainly love to have her back in town and at least go around and talk to our school, our students.
Yeah, that would.
Because she is a role model.
She sure is. Fantastic.
A lot of young girls look up to her.
Her poise is what struck me on all these shows.
For a
She's been on
16-year-old.
Tremendous poise for a 16-year-old. Her poise,
maturity,
and her presence,
I don't see.
maturity.
I don't think I'm that mature.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Mayor, before we go, could you just touch a little bit on 17? What do you see? You look in your crystal ball. What can the residents expect for 2017?
Well, Gene, what the residents, I want them to expect what they've seen over the last 5 years. We're going to continue working hard. We're not going to take a break. We're going to continue to be aggressive with the taxpayer dollars at the municipal level. We're going to continue to improve services. We're just going to keep working hard for the residents.
Well, if you have a year like you just had in 2016, I think 17 will be a very successful year for you.
We want to maintain a stable environment here in Old Bridge so that Old Bridge is a great place to live, continues to be a great place to live, a great place to work, offer more opportunities for people to work in Old Bridge, raise a family. I'm going to continue my efforts with the Board of Education to improve our ability to work together and try to get more facilities, and just be a better steward of what I'm faced with here, and just do my best. That's what I'm hoping for. Is that you stay healthy.
Yeah,
everyone.
Very important, I think.
Mother Nature, you never know.
No, we won't even talk about that, Mayor. We won't even talk about the cold weather coming and snow. We won't even discuss that.
I have a big "Let It Snow" sign on my lawn.
No, we won't even talk about that. Mayor, before we go, we are in the holiday season.
Yes.
We're at Christmas, Hanukkah, and so on. At the lighting of the Christmas tree, you were pretty eloquent about talking about people in the township who may not be as advantaged. Would you want to say anything more to the residents?
One of the disadvantages of being the mayor is exposed to tragedy quite often.
Yes.
And we don't share. But I know that there are families in Old Bridge that are hurting this time of the year. People have lost loved ones for the first time. Maybe they're getting together. Some people are suffering with mental challenges, depression.
Right.
And statistics prove that right around the holidays is when a lot of people make bad decisions. As the mayor, as I said, I'm exposed to that a lot. And the large majority of people in Old Bridge are going to be celebrating this holiday season. But there are some that are not going to be celebrating, or some that are going to be having a very tough time over the next couple of weeks for whatever reason. So I'm asking all the Old Bridge residents to, reach out to anyone that they know that might need some help, or, as I said at the tree lighting ceremony, do something nice, an act of kindness.
Yeah.
Not expect anything in return, because you never know who you're speaking with. Just a simple, how are you, might help someone get through a day that they're having a difficult time with. And I know firsthand it's difficult.
Yeah,
it's difficult,
I think it is at this time of year. Yeah.
As a big town, we're not exempt from tragedy.
No.
We're not Mayberry,
No, sure not.
We're a very big town with a lot of people.
Right.
And there is a minority of people that need some help. And I think that's, I finished last night by, make this special for you by doing something special for someone else. Make this season special.
I think that's a great message. Mayor, I want to thank you for being on today. I want to thank you for this year. I want to wish you and the family a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Yes.
And the little boy, the little grandson.
Yeah, my little grandson.
Get him out there cranking. Be a fun
Santa
Christmas.
is alive and well in the Henry house. He's a joy. I have to bring him on. I have to get him on TV.
Yeah, we'll have to bring him in and have him
We'll have to bring him on.
Okay.
He ran on TV last night.
Yeah, I saw that. I know.
But no, he's a joy. Love having him around.
Oh, it's great age.
Just again,
Well, best
a
with
blessing,
that.
and to be able to, have him in my house and climbing in my bed in the morning.
I'm sure. Okay, folks, that is Old Bridge Outlook for this time. It is, as we said, the holiday season. We want to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, a healthy, happy 2017. And please heed the mayor's message. There are some people in the township that are struggling at this time of year. There's an old saying, it's better to give than to receive. This is the perfect year, the perfect time of year to give a little and to relieve someone else of their struggles. Meanwhile, have a great holiday season. We'll see you again in 2017, and thank you for watching. I'm Gene McLaughlin. Take care.